Commence primary ignition.
Hey there, friends, fans, and collectors. It's time to take a trip to the mines of Mandalore. Let's jump on in. We're going to be doing an in-depth review of this episode, so there are spoilers ahead just for anyone who hasn't seen episode 2 of season 3 of Mando yet. Welcome to another episode of Binary Sunset Review. As always, I am Mike. The episode opens on Tatooine on Boonta Eve. It's Boonta Week, which we know in Star Wars lore is a big party week on Tatooine where there's races, there's games, there's all kinds of things throughout the week, but it culminates on Boonta Eve where there's this huge speeder race. This was a great deep dive. I believe this was first mentioned back in the Droids animated show. I could be wrong, let me know in the comments below, but super old Star Wars holiday week. Nice to see in live action. Mando is there, of course, to try and look for the missing component he needs to fix IG-11. Now, Pele doesn't have it, which I'm kind of happy about, and to be honest, even if he did get IG-11 repaired, where was he going to put that in his N1 starfighter? I would draw the line at fitting IG-11 somewhere in that ship in a super storage compartment. Doesn't make any sense. Pele doesn't have the part, the Jawas don't have the part, but of course Pele sends him with another droid, R5-D4, our famed droid that we saw from A New Hope with his bad motivator. It's great that we're seeing him again. He finally gets his oil bath. He finally gets that smoke mark clean. And she sends him on his way with Mando. They keep endlessly upgrading this very sleek, very no extra part, no extra space starfighter, the N1 starfighter. And just as it didn't make sense that Grogu can, crawl through the N1 to get from his little bubble to get to Mando's lap, it doesn't make sense how she can immediately just put back in the droid core. And it makes even less sense later on we see that the droid gets in and out through the bottom of the starship, going right through the third engine right there in the bottom. So it completely takes into account that there is an engine that goes right there that needs a giant part and fuel to go to that giant part. And do a Disney magic? No, we don't need to worry about that. The droid just goes up and down. Dumb. I'm done. I'm done with this Disney magic crap. Stop adding stuff to that N1. It's not big enough in general. It's not a cool enough ship in general. Blah. Anyway, they do it. R5-D4 is now a part of the N1. He can do that. And they set off going to Mandalore. Now, of course, they needed this astromech because the rumor is that's due to fusion bombs, which seem to be like nukes. The air could be poisoned or irradiated. And so they need a droid to be able to scan and see if they're able to move forward as they're exploring Mandalore. We finally get to see Mandalore in live action, and it is hauntingly beautiful. Now, we see huge crater impacts from these fusion bombs. Mando also says that there is a terrible kind of like EMP disruption, so there's no comms, any kind once you get down to the planet. And so everything on the planet is separate in terms of communication from the rest of space. Really creepy, really eerie. We see them pass through some kind of like thunderstorms that darken and make the planet look much worse. But once they get below, we also do see that there is sky, there is land there. It's potentially livable. Those that know Mandalorian culture and those that don't, war is not new to Mandalore. So actually, Mandalore itself, the top of the planet, the surface, had been long scarred by generations of war, and so they actually built their city into dome cities that go into the core of the planet. But anyway, we land on Mandalore. R5 gets attacked by Alamites. So there are these humanoid Mandalorian, they're native to Mandalore, but humanoid Mandalorian creatures that are sentient and attack Mando. Mando puts up a good fight. We do see Mando wielding the Darksaber when fighting these Alamites, and we see it fighting him with each swipe there. Now, this thing is heavy to Mando. It does not want to be wielded by him, and he does not know how to wield it. So he does fight off a little bit, but man, it does not look easy for him at all. As they descend further, Mando falls into a trap. Now, he is picking up a Mandalorian helmet, and he gets ensnared by this droid, or this biological thing that has built larger and larger droids around it. It's a really cool design, some kind of really awesome crab droid, ensnares Mando, takes him down to his lair, and we really do get a look at some creepy kind of sci-fi body horror. I don't know what he plans to do with Mando, but he puts him up like he's gonna roast him in this metal cage. but he sticks Mando and starts to bleed him, and he must poison him or some kind too. But that was such a creepy scene, watching him like lose his blood as he's waiting to be, I don't know, killed or unarmored. During this encounter with this little droid creature, Mando is disarmed of the Darksaber, and we see it tossed aside with his pistol and with his other weapons. Grogu is observing this, of course. Grogu hides. He tries to save Mando. He's unable to do it, but Mando tells him to go find Bo-Katan. We see her Mandalorian gauntlet fighter. So her gauntlet ship, this is the ship that we saw all throughout the Clone Wars. We hadn't yet seen it in live action. And man, this scene is like a minute long of this ship and its approach onto Mandalore. It really does not disappoint. It is beautiful to see the ship in general, its takeoff. It has this unique takeoff where the wings transition. And then also just beautiful shots of over the wing where it's just amazing. But this is one of my favorite ships out of the Clone Wars, and I love that we're seeing it. It lands on Mandalore. She descends. She kicks Alamite ass. She keeps going down, and she rescues Mando, and she does so by finding the Darksaber again. So she sees the Darksaber there. Her eyes light up. She takes it back. It becomes hers. And one thing to really note again is that it does not fight Bo. Now she is able to use this thing. She kicks ass with this thing, and she gets into this nice fight with this droid-looking guy. She stabs it right through the heart. A little piece of it escapes, and just like the Thing monster, it goes and turns and gets back into the giant crab robot, and we get a much larger fight with Bo and the Darksaber against the crab robot. Again, it completely speaks to her. She knows how to wield it, and she kicks ass with this thing. Mando is saved, and the Darksaber is now once again in the hands of Bo-Katan. So Mando wakes up. Bo is cooking him pog soup. So I don't have a reference for this either in history. Let me know if you've heard about this, but it seems to be a Mandalorian soup that they all drink and have known since childhood. And it seems to be as simple as water and some kind of powder or paste that they keep in one of their little pouches, which I think is adorable. So that means that one of those ammo pouches contains like a travel soup whenever Bo gets hungry and finds some water. I think this is such a cute idea, but she serves Grogu, serves Mando, and is shocked by the fact that he's never had it, because being a part of this cult, he's not really exposed to a lot of Mandalorian culture. And of course, Bo was raised on this planet. Bo is royalty. She really was raised in all of the Mandalorian cultures. And we'll see this later when they get down to the mines, and how this is very blasé for her, but this is very unique and very special for Mando. So they get to the mines. It's shattered, but it's still beautiful. Of course, Bo knows the way because she's walked this path before. And they get down. There's an inscription. Bo really does treat Mando, treat it with respect, like Mando. It's like it's his first time. So she reads this beautiful inscription about why the mines are sacred and special. In this inscription, we hear that this ancient dwelling, this water mine, was a home to the ancient mythosaur once. And we know as Mandalorians, the mythosaur is that skull. It's the skull of this creature that Mandalorians hunted to extinction. And it's a symbol of conquering them. It's the symbol of a Mandalorian and the Mandalore. And the ancient Mandalorian the Great, Mandalore the Great, the ancient Mandalore the Great, actually tamed a mythosaur and used to ride it into battle. And this is ancient, this is old and celebrated. Mando takes it very seriously. He takes off his weapons and he goes and he starts to bathe in the waters, and he is chomped up by something and pulled underwater. I was very impressed by Bo not even flinching for a second, immediately throwing on her helmet and diving on down into that water to save Mando. Now, I love Bo-Katan, but she is just so much. Katie Sackhoff is doing such a fantastic job of her live-action portrayal in The Mandalorian, and just so cool with those, because I'm pretty sure she does all her own stunts too, but awesome, just tossing on that helmet, diving on in, not even knowing what the hell that could be that took him down, but she jets on down, because of course the jetpack can be used underwater in some cases, so they jet on down, picks up Mando at the bottom of this huge abyss. So this mine opens up, so he really did. He got the full bath. He got the full descent and full bath and potentially the bends, and the two of them get up, they rise, and Mando's not really with it yet. But Bo is jetting on back up, and there's this really hauntingly beautiful shot of her light and her POV and seeing the skull of this mythosaur and then the eye of this live mythosaur. There was a live mythosaur in this mine, and it is what pulled Mando in, and it is huge, it is terrifying, and she underwater, it's muffled and we can't hear her, but you can see her like swearing like holy shit, and then jetting on out of there. And the last thing when the episode ends is her screaming mythosaur and Mando coughing up water. And oh my god, so cool to see. I don't know how I quite feel about it, because canonically mythosaurs have been dead for like 1,000 years, thousands of years, so I find it hard to believe there was like sleeping Nessie underneath the mine the whole time that just needed Mandalorians to quiet down up there and so it could grow. But anyway, really cool to see its face. We'll have to see what the actual beast looks like. I hope it's not too Disneyfied, because of course we have never seen as Star Wars fans what an actual mythosaur looks like. We just know what the skull and the face looks like, but not the body. We just know it's huge, we know it's rideable, we know it's monstrously powerful. Thanks for watching another episode of Binary Sunset Review. As always, I've been Mike. Your likes and your views are greatly appreciated. Please like the video down there and subscribe and hit the notification button if you haven't already done it. It really does help the channel, and it keeps me being able to pump out as many videos as possible. Have a great day out there, stay safe, stay sane, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.